it's good to see you all. I hope you've all had a good holiday in Nairobi, as in many places. Today is Easter Monday, and it's been a long holiday from Friday. And, we just felt that we really want to keep the schedule and be consistent and continue with the meetings. And I think everyone is getting ready to go back to work tomorrow. So this is the perfect time to have this call, connect again, and get some training and learn a few things, and just really be able to connect, because this is what it's all about. Yeah. And we'll also have a second part of the meeting, of the call, where, if you have questions, this is the time to ask those questions. Anything relating to fuel factor X, or what's happening, on how to do it, please feel free after I call up the first speaker. And so today, I think I'm going to get started now. Today we have a guest speaker from Kenya. He's someone that is well known to me. I consider him part of my family. I consider you all part of my family. And he's really good with training. And usually when we see his face, he's talking about Fuel Factor X, the product. I know his face has become popular. He's like the face of Fuel Factor X over here in Africa. But today he brings more to the table than that, because he's been in the professional world, and then now with the experience in network marketing, just putting it both together, bringing that seriousness, the professionalism that is needed, knowing that this is not a hobby. If you're doing it as a business, whether you're doing it full-time or part-time, there are still some skills you have to have. And I think I just want to bring him up. Matt, please talk to our people. Thank you.
Hi, Sue, and everybody else on the call. Thank you very much for that introduction. It's my pleasure to be here today with all of you. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to share something of value to all of us here today. I'm hoping that what I share with you today is something that we can apply in our day-to-day business, in our engagements with prospects and customers. And I hope that the information I share today will be something that we can, that will be of value to us, really, as we go about our business. As we've said over and over again in the past, this business is timely. It's timely because it's addressing a need in society, an issue that we are all talking about, we are all facing. And what I'm hoping is that as we bring this to market, as we share the opportunity, as we share the product and solutions with various players in the market, be they corporate organizations or just individuals who may have an interest in this, I'm hoping that the information I share with us today is something that we can use and we'll find it effective. So without going into too much introduction, I'll take the next 20 minutes just to, or even less, depending on how all this goes, to share with us this information. So let me share my screen so that we can all be on the same page. As I share my screen, please, I hope that we'll be able to, let me just open my document and please confirm when it is open. If you can see my screen, please confirm.
We see it.
Thank you very much. So I picked a kind of a bit of a slightly controversial topic. It's not really controversial, but it's a topic that's of interest to all of us. We have a product, we have a solution really to a lot of issues that people, whether they be individuals or corporate organizations, may be facing. And I chose this topic not because there's anything wrong with selling. We all need to sell. Sales is a skill that we all need to have. But I want us to kind of refine our skill. That's why I call the topic today, consult, don't just sell. There's a difference between selling and consulting. And as we go along this topic, we'll be able to understand where I'm coming from, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to refine our selling skills or our consultation skills, so to speak, so that we can be more effective in the market. Now, this is applicable whether we're talking to a corporate organization and trying to bring them on board to be customers, or we're talking to an individual and we're trying to bring them on board to be part of our team, to be an affiliate in the business. This applies. So consultation is really a different angle of selling, and I hope that this is going to help us as we move forward. So generally, as a whole, selling skills are important. In fact, it's been said that selling or the sales skills are actually life skills. When you stand before people and you're trying to bring up about a point or trying to make a certain communication, really what you're doing is you're selling yourself. When you present yourself maybe to somebody who has shown an interest in what you're doing, really what you're doing is you're selling yourself. And the skill of selling is really trying to get people or to get an organization to take a certain action that you have presented. Now, they say that in selling, the most effective aspect of selling, or the most important aspect of selling, is effective communication. That selling really boils down to effective communication. And what does this involve? It's the ability to communicate persuasively to the person that you are talking to, or to the organization that you're presenting to. So the ability or the skill of being persuasive with what you're saying in passing the information is part of the selling skill. And secondly, being able to tailor a message to different stakeholders. Definitely different people or different organizations have different needs, and therefore, fashioning the message to meet their specific need is part of effective communication. And lastly, but not least, you're also trying to build strong relationships with the people that you're communicating with the organization that you're communicating with. The idea of building relationships and building them over time and not just at that particular moment is part of what is effective communication. Now, I want us to just look at the difference between consulting and selling by looking at some specific points that I put together. So on one side, I have consulting, on the other side, I have selling, and we shall look at the two differences. So consulting focuses on understanding the customer's needs. Usually when we are selling, we are out to present a specific product or a set of products. But on consulting, you're focusing on understanding what this person or this organization have defined as their needs. It means you're going to ask questions. You're going to try to get into their shoes, so to speak, trying to find out what are they facing on a day-to-day, on a day-to-day basis. While selling, on the other hand, is focusing on what you have in hand to present to the person or to the organization. Secondly, consulting involves building relationships. When you're consulting for an organization or you're consulting for a particular individual, you're trying to look at it from a long-term perspective. You want to be involved in their business or in their lives not just for now, not just to be able to sell a product, but you want to be part of their journey. You want to take this journey with them. You want to be there for them when they need advice, when they need someone to consult with. So basically, you're building a relationship. Now, in consulting, you're going beyond the product. Now, usually when we're presenting a product or a set of products, we are highlighting the features and the benefits of the product. Now, it sometimes in selling, we want to sell, we want to exchange money for, we want to receive money in exchange for the product or the set of products. And sometimes, in many cases, that is usually the end of the conversation. But in consulting, you want to be a part of the journey of this particular person or organization. And that means that you're not really interested in just selling. You're interested in being part of their process going forward. Thirdly, consulting requires a deep understanding of the customer's industry and business challenges. Now, for many of us, that might be a challenge in the sense that we may not want to know too much about the industry or too much about what this business is going through. And yet, that's what really gives value in the conversation with this particular organization or with this particular person. Many of us are guilty of understanding the product, which is good. We need to understand the product that we're dealing with, understanding the technical specifications, but we end at that. And yet there is so much more if we are going to add value to what this organization or what this person is looking at. And as a result, it will maybe require from time to time to understand the industry. For example, if you're talking to maybe a prospective customer, for example, in the transportation industry, you want to gain a little bit more knowledge about the challenges that they may be facing. They maybe want to know about the specific challenges that the industry as a whole is facing. You may want to know also about the challenges that this specific customer or this specific prospect is facing in that particular industry. For example, we are dealing with fuel factor X. We're dealing with a product that is in the that can be applied in the transport space. So you may want to know what are the challenges that those in the transportation industry have as far as fuel is concerned. Is it quality? Is it price? Is it maybe issues on vehicle maintenance, the high cost of maintenance? And sometimes to be able to have this understanding, you need to ask the right questions to the prospect rather than having an assumption that you know what they may need. Sometimes in the back and forth of question and answer between yourself and the prospect, you may be able to help the prospective customer to have a clearer understanding of the range of solutions that may be open to them, or a clearer understanding of some of the issues that they may be facing, or that some of the issues that may be coming to them that are maybe right now on the horizon. One of the issues that I remember talking to one of my prospective customers was that I went in with an understanding that I'm bringing to them a unique solution as far as fuel economy is concerned. But after having an engagement with the transport manager of this particular organization, it came to light that they had tried this in the past with a different kind of product. And they were very disappointed with the results that came out of the trial run that they did. It was so disappointing that it became an audit query in that organization. So you see, I had to adjust my approach. I had to adjust my, my presentation to accommodate what they had already faced as an organization. Now, I will never have known this if I'd gone in with the mind that I have the perfect solution. But because I had, opened myself up to a discussion, to a question and answer session with the transport manager, it came to light that they had had this kind of an experience in the past, and therefore my proposal could now be fine-tuned with this understanding in mind. So sometimes it will require that understanding of the customer, the industry, and what's going on as far as that particular industry is concerned. Now, I'm just trying to mention this as an illustration of what consultation might mean to some of us. Consultation might mean spending time with a prospect, spending time to understand their situation, their unique circumstances, so that you tailor or you bring about a solution that meets their need, and their need might be unique from other players in the industry. So what I have on our screen is basically just a few examples or a few differences between consulting and selling as far as our business is concerned. Now, I've come up with also some examples of, some questions that could be useful for us or to us as we deal with both corporates and individuals. Now, we have a solution. We know that we have a good product. We have a good solution to some of the challenges that various people have in their day-to-day operations. So I just want to, go through some questions that could be useful as you present this, or as you seek to present this to your prospect. Now, for me, what I do, and I hope this is also useful to many of us, I do not come into the picture as a know-it-all, or as somebody who, I have a magic wand that will just solve their issues. Sometimes prospects may not even have a clear understanding of what the issues might be. I remember meeting again in a different organization, a fleet manager, and she needed to, address issues on fuel cost as well as emission reduction. Now this had come to her from her boss. So her boss is the person who told her, look, we need to find a solution for this, for the high cost of fuel, because we have a requirement from the board that we must reduce this year, we must reduce our cost of fuel by a certain percentage. So when I happened to come into the organization and started asking questions about, their experience with cost of fuel, it was a pleasant surprise to her that we have a solution that will help her achieve some of these corporate targets. So, so these are some of the questions that I had asked before she reached out, for a second meeting to discuss. And I remember one of the questions I asked was, what would a saving of 10 to 15% on fuel cost mean to her and her organization? And to her, that was an eye-opener, like, oh, you mean we can actually achieve 10 to 15% saving on fuel cost? And that opened up, the discussion, and it became a good presentation. Another kind of question you could ask is, how important is it for the company to operate with cleaner fuel or more efficient fuel? Now, cleaner fuel and more efficient fuel simply means that the organization will be able to save on maintenance costs and meet also some of their corporate targets as far as emission reduction is concerned. Another question that I like to ask is, has the company set any goals this year on reduction of harmful emissions, carbon emissions? So when you ask this kind of questions, it puts the prospective client at a point where they need to ask themselves some of these questions and align and see whether they can align them with some of their corporate goals or corporate targets. So for corporates, that's one way of doing it. For individuals, so if you are looking to build your team, to enroll more affiliates, into your, into your network, there's some useful questions that we can use in that conversation. Just today, I was having a conversation with somebody in the morning. We were talking on phone, and she told me she's been trying to find a way to supplement her current income. She's a teacher in Kenya, and right now schools are on holidays. They've just closed. Some are yet to close, but she now has about 3 weeks, a 3-week break, and she's considering what to do with her 3 weeks. And I told her, look, we can discuss an opportunity that I would like you to look at. And it reminded me of some of the questions that we can use as we talk to individuals about the opportunity that My Daily Choice and Fuel Factor X presents. So here's a good question that one can ask. Have you considered going into business for yourself, perhaps a side hustle? Now, this is a very loaded question, ladies and gentlemen. This is a question that somebody who is looking into a supplementary income, or somebody who is looking to replace their current income is considering. Now, when you ask somebody this kind of a question, have you considered going into business for yourself? Have you considered a side hustle? Have you considered an alternative source of income? You're bound to get 3 possible answers. And I love this because it's been such an effective tool when I'm talking to individuals. Now, one of the first possible answer you could get is, yes, I have gone into, I've set up a side hustle. I've taken an alternative, I've gone into an alternative revenue income, revenue stream. Now, so when somebody tells you yes, I know for most of us at that point, we would probably, that will bring the conversation to an end. But ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you that actually there's a follow-up question to that you can use to see whether this person actually can come into the business. And the question would be, how's that going? Now, once again, that question of how's that going, or what's your experience like on your side hustle or on your alternative income stream, again, you have 2 possible answers to that. How's that going can elicit an answer like it's going very well, or an answer like it's not going very well, and I'm really thinking about what to do about it. So if the answer is it's going very well, then it now puts you in a situation where you need to, basically close that conversation, but you can close it in a way that you actually come out of it with something. For example, you could ask them, oh, it's great that you're doing very well in that particular venture. Would you know anybody else who is looking for an alternative revenue stream, or for another revenue stream for themselves? That's one way of looking at it. Another way is to say, I got this from one of the calls a few weeks ago, right on this call. You can ask them, you can tell them, would you do me a favor? Do you know anybody who would like to, who's looking for a second or a third income stream? I'm part of a business or a company that is setting up business in this city or in this town, and we are looking to expand. We're looking for people to work with, people to build our network with, and therefore, if you could recommend somebody to who would be interested in this kind of an opportunity, I would be grateful for that. Now, this puts the person that you're talking to in a position where either they get very curious about what you're doing, or they may come up with a name or 2 that they can refer to you. Now, if the answer to the question of how's that going was it's not going very well, then you could ask the question, what's the challenge? And this could bring up very many, various answers, like, I I don't have enough time for that business, or I don't think I have the skills and therefore I'm struggling with the business. Or I think I went into a business and the product is not right for this market. So you see, they could give you a number of reasons why they could be struggling with that particular business. Now, this presents you now the opportunity to present your own opportunity, or your own, to bring into the conversation what you wanted to present to this person. You could talk about your product and how it's good, or how it's appropriate for this particular market. You could talk about the kind of support that you're getting in what you're doing to build skills. It could be presentation skills, it could be prospecting skills, it could be whatever other kind of skills that they need. You could talk about, so it gives you the opportunity to talk about your product, your company, the support, and the training that is available within your own environment. So that's all that was in answer to the first possible answer of yes, I'm doing this, I'm doing a business. Somebody else might say yes, I'm doing a side hustle, I'm doing a business, but or rather, yes, I have considered going into business, but I've never taken the step to go into the business. So this is somebody who knows they need another revenue stream, but they have never really taken the step to go into it. And the follow-up question would be, why haven't you taken the step? And again, lots of reasons could come up. I don't have enough capital. I haven't found the right product or service. I don't think I have the time. I don't think I'm skilled to do this kind of a business. And again, it presents you the opportunity to present this opportunity to them. You can talk about the product, how the product is appropriate for this time. You can talk about how you can do this business as a side hustle, maybe 2 to 3 hours a day during your free time. Or you can talk about the support system, the marketing tools that have been presented or that are available with this particular opportunity. This will give the person the comfort, or will give them the confidence that this is an opportunity that they should look into. The third possible answer to this question of, have you considered going into business for yourself, would be no. Now, somebody who says no could present a situation where, many of us will probably go blank at that point. But again, it presents an opportunity to, for a follow-up question. For example, why not? So the possible answers to the why not question would be, one, I'm not entrepreneurial. Okay. Now, somebody who tells you I'm not entrepreneurial is simply saying, I don't think I'm made, for this kind of thing, to do this kind of business. Now, this again presents another opportunity. You could use that opportunity to talk about how your product can benefit them, not in business, but in terms of usage. This is a potential customer to you. So instead of presenting the business opportunity, now you present the product and how it provides a solution to them. For example, how it will, increase their fuel economy, or how this product will be able to reduce the maintenance costs, or just provide efficiency and power to their vehicle as they drive to and from work and in their daily activities. So just because somebody says, no, I have never thought of going into business, doesn't mean that they cannot be, a customer to you. So basically what I'm trying to do here is to show us how asking the right questions and anticipating certain objections and having the answer to those objections will help us be more effective in our presentations, in our engagements, both with with corporate customers as well as individuals, and how we can be how we can really make the best out of every situation, out of every objection, out of every answer that we get during our presentations. So ladies and gentlemen, that is all I had for us this evening. I hope that this information is going to help us to be more effective, to have more engaging conversations with customers and clients. And, and all I can say is all the best as we do this business of MDC and Fuel Factor X. Back to you, Sue.
Thank you so much, Matt. I like that. I like this thing about asking the right questions, which sets the tone, the pace, everything is just about what you ask, what you say at the start. And I think also you've taught us, like, it's important to have the right conversation. And so how do you open it up? How do you approach them? And then depending on their answers, where do they fit? There could be someone to join you, become an affiliate. They could, like you said, just say they're not interested in business, and you're like, okay, there's this product where you could save money. But then also, of course, you could always tell them, okay, you've heard about the product, maybe there's someone that you think would be interested, someone who'd be interested to save on their fuel or sell the opportunity as well. So thank you so much. That was very informative. I hope you've all enjoyed that session. If there's anyone who has, we're going to, let's give a big hand clap to Matt for that. Thank you very much. So I want to know, before we go to general questions and things that we're having as we're all doing the business, I wanted to find out if there's anyone who has a question about what Matt has said. Please feel free to put up your hand and, feel free to ask. I know we have a few new people on the call, but this is really for everybody. And this should be interactive. So yeah, anyone, the comment, a question about what Matt has just said. Maybe some insights or your own experience.
I'll stick my nose in for a second, if you don't mind.
Super.
Matt, you were right on point. People don't like to be sold. People, when you're trying to sell somebody something, they instantly get kind of a wall up, and I do the same thing when people are trying to sell me. I know just from their presentation they're trying to sell me, and I get this kind of little protective wall in front of me. But when you are becoming a problem solver, like you described, when you're a consultant, a problem solver, now people are engaged because you've already addressed that they have a problem, and now you're offering them a way to fix it. Anybody with any intellect, as far as their business or their own personal well-being, when they hear that it's something that may benefit them on a day-to-day basis, they're going to listen. It happens to me all the time. When I get on Facebook, if Facebook, if something pops up and it's obviously a selling tool, I kind of tend to stay away from it. But if it's maybe if it's something that somebody's talking about, mentions a problem, and then talks about how to cure that problem, if that's a problem I've had in the past, then I am going to engage. I am going to hang on to that video that's going on and see what the outcome is. So you're spot on. I just want to congratulate you, because that was a phenomenal presentation, and it really does make a huge difference, the difference between selling and consulting, and I commend you. You did great.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot, because even for me, people know that I sell, and every time I'd meet someone, they'll be like, okay, so what are you selling us now? So it's nice to come up with a different way, so that it's not very like outright, like people are waiting, the people who know you, and you see them after some years and they're like, okay, so what are we selling now? They're almost ready for that, So there's got to be another way to do it. Interesting. Okay, Stephen, please.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I hope you're keeping well. Happy Easter to all of you. Came in a few minutes late, my apologies. But Matt, I think you're creating a bridge for everybody else, because I do believe with the kind of foundation that you're giving us, it's beyond. And I think that is what most of the people would want to know, and especially everybody who is new, how to approach the situation. I have a question which I may know partially the answer, but maybe also I think it is to expand our thinking. And mine is to ask, how much support do you actually need to give somebody for him to actually be able to overcome? I think there's a bit of fear, if I may ask. And I think that's something that people have to. For example, I'll give you my good example, and with FFX, it's actually a true scenario. When we started, I had to sit down and go through a bit of notes, and I still didn't get 100% of what was there. It took me time. So what do you do meanwhile? Like now you have your teacher who says, yes, I want to onboard and I want to do this. How do you have steps? How do you formulate and move this person from just being a person who is actually just there to being a teacher, if I may use that word? Matt, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Steve, for that question. And thanks, Dale, too, for your comments. So Steve, if I have you right, you're asking, how do you now move this person from just being interested, they acknowledge, okay, this can be a business. How do you move this person now to the next step of actually coming onto the business? So, so any business has a learning curve. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's network marketing like we are doing here, or it's a grocery shop or whatever it is. It has a learning curve. So basically, by presenting the model, the business model, I know network marketing for a lot of people is not the usual thing, especially in Kenya. The network marketers are a small community, relatively speaking, to when you look at the entire population. But when somebody when somebody expresses that they're looking for a revenue stream, to complement their current income, I think you have to be very clear about how do we do this business. Okay, so you have to educate them about first of all the product. They need to understand the product. What is this product? What will it do for their potential customers? What I've been doing with guys who come out of the business, I challenge them. I ask them, so now that you have understood what the product is, where do you see your customers? Who do you see as your customer? Okay, and I usually tell them it's a very wide market, but you have to kind of narrow it down to who are you going to target for this particular product? Who is your market? And after they have identified who their potential market is, then they need to identify how do you reach that market? So, for example, if somebody says, I'm looking at the transport industry, again, that's a very big segment, So who in the transport sector are you looking at? Now, if they say the long distance bus drivers, then or long distance bus companies, then you ask them, okay, so how will you reach these people? How will you find these people? Okay, and they need to come up with strategies. They need to come up with ideas of how they're going to reach these people. Personally, for me, I've come to a point where I tell myself, it's not for me to tell this person how to get there, but it's just for me to guide them, to ask them the right questions that will make them think about how do I get there. It's not for me to tell them, go to, list down all the bus companies that you know, and then find out where they're located, and then now go to them. No, that's not my role. My role is to help them find the answers for themselves. So by asking them the questions that can guide, that can lead them to the answers that they are looking for. It's more like, you know, when you go to a shrink, when you go to a psychologist, they never tell you what to do. They ask you the questions that will help you to answer that question for yourself, right? So I take the same kind of approach. Tim, feel free to comment on Steve's question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I like that. And I just like that, listening to different people, hearing your thoughts, your comments, and your take on things. And I think this is what was missing. It's very good for us to compare notes, to see how we are talking to different people. And if we don't have a forum for like this, we don't really know what's going on, So I hope, you're getting some ideas. I hope everyone on the call is getting some ideas. I notice there are a few, I think everyone here has been in here a while. Bilal, I know, is catching on very quickly. JP as well. Of course, we see Dr. Musa is on the call today. So network has allowed you to be here. I think I also saw Charles. Hi, Charles is there. Charles, good to see you on the call today. So guys, feel free. Florence, Uganda. Jane, good to see you. And Grayson, Nathan as well. Please, guys, does anyone have a comment? It could be about what Matt has said. It could be a general question about FFX or how you're doing the business or anything. Any other questions or comments? We say this is a safe space, yeah? So feel free, to ask, talk, comment, anything. This would be the place to do it. I think another way, Steve, also to, when you're new to it and the person is deciding or, I think another tool we can use is this one, where you bring them on one of the opportunity calls and say, why don't you just come and have a look at this? And that could also be a nice way. Thank you, Grayson. Good to have you here. That could also be a nice way of bringing them on to the call, where you don't pretend to have all the answers. You don't act like you have all the answers, but you say, you know what? Why don't you come onto the call and see where you fit in? We have an opportunity call, and we have the experts in the industry coming on Thursday, or you could invite them for the Tuesday call. And it's interesting because when they come and then they hear from someone else, and then they look and they see, oh my goodness, there are different people in different parts of the world. You might be surprised. They might think they want to come in as a customer, and then it has happened to us severally. And I know there are some people here who would attest to it. They think they want to come in as a customer, but then they come and they hear, oh my goodness, there's a wonderful opportunity here. So get them on the call. All right. Anyone? Mr. Andabati. All right, please say something.
Yes, yeah. Hello, Sue, and hello, everyone. Just want to say thanks to Matthias and to you, Del, and all the colleagues on call. Sorry, I came a few minutes late. I was struggling with the network to join. Yeah, I'm so happy to at least to have had the great insight from Matthias and how to go about with getting the customers, not only sell but also consult with them. It's those are great tips there. And as we have dived in the business, one of the most important thing is to learn. And yeah, this is I think a great way of learning. So happy to hear all these tips. And then yes, as so you also mentioned that one of the best way is to get people on the call, because we are getting more people joining the business, and this is a unique business style. It's not like the older one, and whereby there's a lot of learning. It's when we learn more, we understand the product, we understand the system, we understand the plans. That's when we get to make more money. And yeah, so it's very important for everyone who is in this business, who I think in this business, everyone is a leader. As long as you already brought someone in here, you must step in that leadership role, take responsibility to both coach, to mentor, and also make sure that people don't feel isolated. Because you know, chances are very high sometimes when people come in and then they go to cold corner, they say, okay, I think this is it's not for me. But when we meet like this from time to time, online, and also we get to have physical meetings where possible with the people who are within the areas where we are, I think that give us opportunity to cheer up. And like Matthias say that it shouldn't be our role to direct people and tell them what to do, and to have at least deep conversations with them, and try to know what how they want to approach situations, or prospecting, and also approaching which client to approach. So that's very, very vital. I really want to appreciate that, and I want to take this up to see that we will be able to share this to give it time with people who are within our teams who have not been on this call tonight. I really appreciate this effort, and I hope that we continue with this engagement of learning so that we will grow, mature together in the business. Thank you very much, Sue. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andabati. Always good to hear from you. We know you've come in recently, and we know that we're going to be seeing you quite a bit. I want to commend you for even inviting people. I see there are a number of people who are on the call today. That's really good. Yeah, let's bring our teams on calls like this, so that even as they're starting their businesses, they have, when they come and they see people who've done it, who've gone before them, the trailblazers, and they are hearing everything, what you went through, what they can avoid to make their journey easier, So I think these are very important calls. So if you're here and you're new, I see like there's John, Techno.
Yes, John. Yeah. John is in our team, our brand new affiliate to be within this week. So that's why he's here, so eager to learn and also share with the team. Sure, very excited. This affiliate to be here. Awesome. Yeah.
Wow, you're very welcome to the call, John. We're always excited to have new members, and you are in the right place. And so we are excited to see you grow with FFX and with us as well. So here we are family, Techno Spark, you're welcome. I'm just looking at the names I haven't seen here before. Bilal, now you're part of the family already. So we don't consider you a new person. You've been in the business for maybe 2 weeks. So now you're a resident completely, yeah?
Yeah.
So you're welcome. Yeah. Is there anybody else, Florence, JP? Sorry? JP, we are looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday at the physical meeting. I like that bit, you're talking about, Mr. Andabati, just saying that, you have these ones, and then we also have where you can, if you have like within your area, and you can do like a physical, a face-to-face presentation, sit down with someone. I think that's always very powerful as well, so there are things we can do. And I'm excited because when we have these calls, there are different things we'll be talking about, and bringing different speakers and sharing experiences. And we are calling it the FFX experience. And it's exciting just to hear what everyone is doing. I know we have Dr. Musa in Congo. I'm so happy that your network is good today. We've missed you quite a bit on the calls, but we know you're working a lot, and he's doing a great job in Congo. Today we made some orders, so congratulations, Dr. Musa. If you want to say something, feel free. Charles, I know there's been a challenge with network in Ghana, So I can see now you're here and you're back. I know you are a user and a believer of the product, and let's just come and see how we can move the product even more, how we can approach people. Maybe we didn't know how to talk to them or what to say. So I hope there'll always be something to learn, and we'll all want to hear your different experiences. This is not just there's no real expert. I think the one expert on the call today is Dale. He is the original expert here. But I'm sure Dale, you're happy just to hear people, their experiences, the training, what people are saying. To sit back and listen sometimes is also good. Yeah, Matt, you wanted to say something.
Yes, thanks, Sue. There's something that Steve alluded to when he asked his question, and maybe I didn't touch on it. And it's something that is important. In our effort to reach customers and other people like prospective affiliates, this is something I learned from my upline. I don't know whether he's on the call today. Is George on the call? He's not here today, but he always told me to expect the no, to prepare for the no. And the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. There will be more no's than yeses, especially right at the beginning of your effort, because you're just starting out, you're just taking the bold step to go out and talk to people. And again, today in the morning, I was watching a sales guru, and he said that it takes, on average, it takes five exposures to close a deal. On average, it takes 5 exposures. It means you've gone back to that person again and again and again and again, up to 5 times, to close that one deal. And usually at the beginning, there'll be rejection, a lot of rejection, a lot of objections. But when we know that there will be many objections and many rejections, and we are prepared psychologically, then we will not take it in, And one of the things that keeps me going is that when somebody says no, I need to remind myself that they're not rejecting me, they're rejecting the opportunity, that I'm presenting to them. So I separate myself from the opportunity, and that way it doesn't hit me so hard. Yes, you'll feel there'll be some you'll be shaken a bit, but you're able to get over it quickly and move on to the next presentation or to the next prospect. So I just wanted to encourage the team that as much as there will be no's, and there will be many, there'll be yeses along the way somewhere. So prepare yourself for the no psychologically, but there'll be a yes down the road. And just because someone said no today, doesn't mean tomorrow they will say no. Maybe it's just the timing that was not right. Maybe it's just they just didn't have the money at that particular moment. But if you end that conversation at a point of living into the possibility of a future conversation, then you'll be able to go back a second time, a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time, and who knows, you may close at the third or the fourth or the fifth. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that there will be no's. Prepare yourself for the no's, and then move on to the next prospect. But on average, it takes 5 exposures. When I say exposure, I mean 5 contacts with that person for them to come on board. And I've seen it. I've seen it in my own efforts. I've presented something to someone, and the first time they're like, "Oh, okay, just another thing." But the more I share information with them, and every time I share something with them, I'm sharing with them something of value, some extra information, something new for them to to absorb and to take in. Eventually, they come around and they become a customer. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Matt. I just wanted to check. I think, did I see anything in the chat? All right. Yeah. Thank you, Matt. Oh, welcome to the call, Karen. All right. Yeah. So, Matt, I like that, that this rejection thing, and maybe that's another one that we also need to deal with, because there are so many topics. When people, say no, sometimes you take it personal. And it's not only just when they say no to you, sometimes you put someone in a group, sometimes they're already a member, sometimes they're an affiliate, and then you see someone left the group. And when someone leaves the group, we all go and check and see who's left. And we say you catch feelings, like you actually feel, you take it personal, like what does it mean? What is this? But just like you said, sometimes it's not you they're rejecting. Sometimes it's not even the opportunity, but it's the timing. Maybe at that time it's just not the time. But interestingly, the way you go back to them with wisdom, of course, yeah, you don't overdo it sometimes, because there's a time you're trying to engage somebody, and for example, you're seeing that they've read your messages or they're not answering your calls, and there's a time also to kind of wait it out and let them now be the one to get in touch with you. You use it where it doesn't now start looking like you're harassing them, because then again, now they start thinking, if this product is that good, why are these people are seemingly desperate? So again, I think you need to have some pride as well and be confident of the product that you have and the company that you're with. So there's a line there, and it also requires some wisdom. So don't catch feelings. And I like that thing. If you're going to engage them a number of times, it means that you must have opened the way for communication. If you get upset and someone has left a group and they're in your team or something, and you're like, okay, go, they don't do that. Don't burn bridges. Just wait for them. And many times they will come back. That's the interesting thing, because they'll have a need. And that need could either be like with our products, either they want to actually save on fuel and something has hit them really hard, or they've had someone speak about the same fuel factor X and they're like, oh my gosh, it has happened to one of our members who went for a meeting to present this opportunity, okay, to a group. And it was a different sort of group, a different sort of thing. Went to present it. And in the midst, what she did not know was in the midst of this, among them, there was a member. But this member had not told the group that she's in about the business. Can you imagine? This was a different thing. And now they had a guest speaker and they didn't know and this person, imagine, is presenting the same product and people are interested, So something will bring them back. Either that or they might be like, okay, you guys said there's an opportunity here. Maybe it's time for me to listen. So be patient with them and then use wisdom to know how to engage and when to engage, Yeah. So thank you so much, guys. I think we are at the top of the hour, and I think there might not be any more questions today, but I'm so happy, and I want to encourage each of you, like, this is interactive. We want to hear from you as well. So feel free to talk to us. And like we said, and we always say with Dale, this is a safe space. We've created a safe space for you. This is family. This is a family of MDC Fuel Factor X. Let's discuss things here. Now, before we wind up, I really, really want to emphasize, this is a call for you to come, start bringing your teams here. It doesn't matter how new they are, as long as they signed up with you, please bring them onto the call. Let them start learning. Let us start sharing with them. Now, two very important calls this week. This is a very short week. We're going back to work tomorrow after the long holiday. And tomorrow, Tuesday, we have the business opportunity call, the African edition. And then on Thursday, we have the opportunity call. And this time it's more than just the opportunity call, because you hear from our international leaders, you hear from Dale and the team, So because here we are in Africa, and then you want also to hear their experiences, to hear what's going on over there. So I think those two calls are the best. Plug your people in. It's only two calls this week, Tuesday, Thursday. If you're going to invite anyone for tomorrow's meeting, you better start inviting today. And even it's not too early to start inviting for Thursday. Okay. So if you're new here, bring your prospects, bring your people to the call and watch your business grow. So I want to thank everyone for being on the call today. And we look forward to seeing your beautiful faces and just to seeing you guys back on the call tomorrow for our Tuesday edition. And if by any chance we don't see you, then we look forward to seeing you on the Thursday call. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, let me see, there's a question. Sorry. Okay, there's a question. I think Andabati is asking a question. All right. What we'll do, Andabati, we'll get on a call with you. I think and Stephen in Kenya, so that we can give you all the updates for Uganda. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one and see you tomorrow.